Friends. Recently, Larry Ellison briefly overtook Elon Musk to become the world's richest person. You've probably heard his name before, but maybe you don't know much about his business or life story. So today, we'll talk about how Larry Ellison became one of the richest people in the world, what his business really is, and how he built it all. Larry Ellison owns a company that most people have heard very little about, yet its software is used almost everywhere. Chances are you've used it too at some point. Larry Ellison was born on August 17, 1944, in the Bronx, New York. His mother, Florence Spellman, was just 19 years old and unmarried at the time. His father was an Italian-American Air Force pilot, but he played no role in Larry's life. When Larry was only 9 months old, he got pneumonia. His mother was struggling financially and also facing social pressure. Because of that, she left Larry with her uncle and aunt, Louis and Lillian Ellison, who lived in Chicago. Larry grew up in their home. His adoptive mother, Lillian, loved him deeply, but his relationship with his adoptive father was never good. Louis Ellison had once run a real estate business that shut down during the Great Depression. After that, he started working as an auditor for the Public Housing Authority. Even as a child, Larry was independent and rebellious, which often caused clashes with his adoptive father. When he was 12, Larry found out that he was adopted, that these people weren't his real parents. That truth was painful, but it also sparked a fire in him. He decided to prove himself to the world and to never feel. Larry was strong in academics, especially in math and science. At the University of Illinois, he even won the Science Student of the Year award. But during his second year, his adoptive mother passed away, and the grief hit him hard. He left college without taking his final exams. A few months later, he joined the University of Chicago, but dropped out after just 1 semester. It was there that he was first introduced to computer programming, something that would change his life. Larry's father wasn't happy about him leaving college again. He thought Larry would never achieve anything. But little did he know that this same boy would one day become one of the most successful and richest men in the world. In 1966, at the age of 22, Larry left home and moved to Berkeley, California. He didn't have much money, just enough for gas and some fast food. At that time, Silicon Valley was just beginning to emerge as a tech hub, and Larry decided he wanted to be part of it. Over the next 8 years, he worked at several companies, Fireman's Fund, Wells Fargo, and Ampex Corporation among them. At Ampex, he worked on a project building an IBM-compatible mainframe system, which would later become very useful to him. While at Ampex, Larry was assigned to a special CIA project codenamed Oracle. It was a database system based on research by IBM's Edgar Codd, who had proposed the relational database model. IBM, however, wasn't taking this project too seriously. They were only focused on completing their own work, because implementing Codd's model would have weakened their existing IMS database product. But Larry immediately saw its massive commercial potential. In 1977, Larry read Codd's seminal paper, A Relational Model of Data for Large Shared Data Banks. After reading it, he realized the future of computing would revolve around data management. While still at Ampex, he teamed up with his colleagues Bob Miner and Ed Oates to start a company called Software Development Laboratories, SDL, with just $2,000, $200 of which came from Larry himself. Ellison was a natural storyteller and a brilliant marketer. Their team created the first commercial SQL database to manage large relational data systems. They called it Oracle version 2, not version 1, because they knew people tend to avoid buying version 1 software, believing it's always buggy. Ironically, Oracle's 5th employee, Stuart Feigen, later admitted that version 2 was just as buggy as any other version 1 product. But Ellison's trick worked. It gave the impression that the software was mature and well-tested, even though it was their first real attempt. The strategy paid off. In 1978, the CIA became their first major client, awarding Oracle a contract for its database system. In 1979, When Oracle version 2 officially launched, the CIA was one of their earliest customers. Soon after, IBM also adopted Oracle. That same year, the company changed its name to Relational Software, Inc., and in 1983 it was renamed again, this time to Oracle Corporation, after its flagship product and CIA project. The name Oracle itself means a place or person that provides hidden knowledge or divine guidance. On March 12, 1986, Oracle went public. Interestingly, Microsoft went public the very next day, March 13th, and Adobe followed shortly after. These three companies would go on to become pioneers in the tech world. This marked the beginning of Ellison's long and intense rivalry with Microsoft. By the late 1980s, Oracle was growing fast. But its aggressive sales policies were turning into a ticking time bomb. The sales team was using an upfront strategy, which meant they were counting future license sales as current revenue to meet targets and increase bonuses. The problem came when those future sales didn't actually happen. The trick backfired, and Oracle faced a major crisis. In 1990, the company reported its first-ever quarterly loss. Things got so bad that Oracle had to lay off about 10% of its staff, nearly 400 employees. The company was on the verge of bankruptcy. The stock price collapsed, lawsuits piled up, and critics declared Oracle finished. This was the darkest moment of Ellison's career, one that would define his leadership philosophy. But he didn't give up. Instead, he completely reorganized Oracle's sales structure, brought in new, stronger managers, and invested heavily in innovation. In 1992, Oracle released Oracle 7, which became a massive success. It wasn't just a recovery, it was a comeback that turned Oracle into a tech titan. Banks, corporations, governments, airlines, car makers, and retailers all started relying on Oracle 7. This near-death experience changed Ellison forever. The boy who had once been abandoned by his parents and nearly saw his career collapse decided that he would never feel insecure again. After the crisis, Ellison adopted a bold new strategy. Oracle would no longer be just a database company. It would become a full-scale enterprise software empire. Ellison's approach was surgical and strategic. Industry experts said he had a deep sense of the ebb and flow of technology. He knew when a new tech would emerge and when to strike in a market segment. Every acquisition was like a chess move, designed to make Oracle dominant in that area. Ellison's business philosophy can be summed up as, "It's not enough that we win. All others must lose." That's the mindset behind his empire. For him, real victory means eliminating the competition. His rivalry with Bill Gates and Microsoft wasn't just business, it became personal. Ellison openly accused Microsoft of being anti-innovation, saying they simply raised Windows prices and copied other people's software instead of creating their own. The rivalry peaked in 2000, when Ellison hired private investigators to dig up evidence against Microsoft. Critics called it corporate espionage. But Ellison wasn't one to back down. He said, "We just found hidden information and made it public." That's not arrogance. That's public service. Ellison's leadership style is considered autocratic. He personally made most of the big decisions, with little team input. This centralized style allowed him to make bold and fast decisions that competitors couldn't easily match. One of Oracle's former executives, Gary Bloom, once joked, "Larry's succession plan is that even when he's 6 feet under, he'll somehow still be running Oracle." For 25 years, Steve Jobs was Ellison's closest friend and next-door neighbor in Woodside. Ellison once said, "Steve was my best friend." For nearly 25 years, we took walks together and talked about business, technology, and life. He was one of the few who witnessed Jobs' physical decline from pancreatic cancer. Ellison later said, "I watched Steve grow weaker. He was the strongest person I knew. People say no one is irreplaceable, but I don't believe that. Steve truly was." In today's tech era, Ellison's friendship with Elon Musk often makes headlines. When Musk needed funding to acquire Twitter for $44 billion, Ellison invested $1 billion. From 2018 to 2022, Ellison also served on Tesla's board of directors. Many were surprised when Ellison stepped down as Oracle's CEO, but he remained executive chairman and CTO. Some thought his era was over, but it turned out to be his biggest phase of wealth creation. Initially, Oracle was late to cloud computing, and critics called it Ellison's biggest mistake. But he adapted his strategy and turned Oracle into a leader in cloud infrastructure and AI. Ellison believes AI is the greatest achievement in human history. Under his leadership, Oracle became an essential backbone for AI companies. The company secured massive contracts, including a reported $300 billion five-year deal with OpenAI. On September 10, 2025, Oracle's stock jumped 36 to 40% after the company announced extraordinary quarterly results and strong AI-driven growth projections. In just one day, Larry Ellison's net worth increased by over $100 billion, the largest single-day wealth gain in history. For a brief moment, he became the richest man in the world, with a net worth of $393 billion, surpassing Elon Musk. This jump came from Oracle's explosive earnings and big AI cloud deals with companies like OpenAI, X, Meta, and NVIDIA, which sent the company's stock soaring. But this growth isn't without risks. Oracle's future heavily depends on a few large contracts. If even one of them gets canceled, or if Microsoft Azure, AWS, or Google Cloud capture more market share, Oracle could face challenges. There's also the risk that AI might not deliver as much business value as projected, which could also hurt Oracle. Today, at the age of 81, Larry Ellison still actively serves as Oracle's CTO and executive chairman. His hunger and drive remain the same fire that took him from Chicago's South Side to the very top of Silicon Valley.